Hello everybody, I'm Jerry,
And I'm Jonah,
and today we're going to be interviewing Edgard Sheleby.
aka EMG n0ne.
He is a 19-year-old Captain Falcon main originally from Nicaragua, and now he lives in Toronto, Canada.
Recently, he's been to the Big House 6, Smash Summit 3, and Super Famicom, which he won with a 6-0 victory over Drugfox.
For those of you Melee fans, this could be a great chance to get to know your favorite Captain Falcon player, so let's get right into it.
So I think, first and foremost, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your experience at Smash Summit and how it's affected you as a Smasher?
Yeah, Smash Summit was definitely a lot more than what I expected. I had like kind of ideas of it when I asked other players, but I guess I couldn't really get a feel of what it was until I was there, because the experience was like actually really great. It was much better than I imagined. Lots of melee, you know, like every top player was there basically, all the top 10 players. So I definitely trained a lot. I was in kind of a slump. I wasn't like doing anything at tournaments for some reason all of a sudden. So that definitely helped me put me back into my groove. And yeah, I think definitely for anyone trying to like improve at this game, a shot at Summit is worth, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of what the viewers saw was, you know, you on stream, you on the couch, you playing the game. Behind the scenes, what was the training sort of like?
Drinking. Nah, a little bit of there was nothing really going on behind the scene. It was just really chill, you know, nothing stressful at all. It was just a house. You know how at a tournament, let's say you're at pool stations,
Yeah.
and then you're called to go place. You have to walk around a bit, and a lot of people are there, so you can't really. Well, it's not really stressful, but compared to this, it is. But at this, it was just a house, so that you would basically be in a room. They would tell, yo, you gotta play, so you just get up and then go to the other room. You know, it was a very chill environment, so that was really nice actually.
So it wasn't as formal as a tournament, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Were there any kind of top players that over the course of Summit you got to know personally and you kind of discovered a new side to them that you weren't aware of before?
Definitely, like I think I kind of knew of them. I already knew them all already, but I think I got to know a little bit more of PPU, like Mango Armada, Hungry Box even. Yeah, like I was talking to a lot of them, you know, and like in the end it was all really chill, all good.
So obviously, you know, tournament results are one thing, but behind the scenes, you know, friendlies, when you're playing without inhibitions, how were you doing against players like, you know, Armada or Mango, etc., when you were playing them in friendlies?
I was doing pretty good. I had Armada here at my house before Canada Cup, which was the weekend leading up to Summit. So we were definitely playing a lot. Obviously it's Armada, right? But I was holding my ground versus him. I don't know other Mango. I was doing okay versus him. PPU, I was doing fine. Like all of them, I was doing fine actually. So like I was definitely for that weekend. I guess you could say I was like kind of on their level. I don't know if that makes sense.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so coming out of Smash Summit, do you feel that you've kind of improved as a player and, you know, going back to your locals and whatever tournaments you've gone to, do you feel like you're a much better player than you were going into Summit?
I haven't really gone to locals because I've been a bit sick, but I did go to Super Famicom this weekend, and I was able to take that, so that definitely proves that like it was worth for something, you know.
So at Super Famicom, that was the tournament where you 6-0 Drugfox. Do you attribute a lot of that, you know, destruction to the improvement that you underwent at Summit, or was it just a culmination of other things? You know, is it just like Drugfox being not very good versus Falcon being part of the main reasons, or do you feel like you had a better read, a better grasp of, you know, the matchup?
I mean, obviously, Summit had something to do with it, right? But I was also going into the tournament with the right mindset. So I think my mindset definitely carried a lot. But like these are good players, like both Drugfox and Colville. I was in the moment, you know, like I was feeling good, I was playing good. And yeah.
That's great.
Okay, so technically, how do you feel like you kind of compare to other Falcon mains? Like, Wizrobe is considered one of the most technical players in the world. S2J has, read heavy speed. Yeah. How do you think that you compare to these other styles of Falcon?
People usually ask me this question, and I usually say I don't know or don't compare me because I don't really I don't how do I say it? I don't strive to be I guess the best Falcon. Like that's not. I don't even think of that. That's like doesn't even go through my head. I just think of being a good player,
Okay.
But like if you are asking the question, I would say I'm probably like a mix of both maybe, or something not even like related to both of them. I just do my own thing, because we do have like, for example, you could say I'm a bit more similar towards SGJ. But even then, if you look at our styles, like we might do like something that might seem crazy, but it might actually not be. But we both do our own stuff. It's like nothing similar at all. So it's kind of interesting actually that we could like get results off of like completely different styles, all three of us.
Yeah, and very, very, not even like very similar results too at that. And one thing that I found really interesting at Summit was when Leffen was on the couch commentating one of your sets, he said something to the effect of, n0ne does the craziest stuff, and everybody usually does like optimal stuff, but the fact that n0ne does this stuff and still obtains results is like just proof of the depth of Melee and how like far we have to go in terms of getting better at this game. How do you view that? Do you think that you're kind of opening a new can of like worms? Do you think you're venturing off into this new kind of land, and do you think more players will be able to follow that kind of your leadership in the future, or do you feel like it's better for everybody to gravitate more towards that optimal kind of 20xx 20gx kind of style?
I think if you're a newer player, I think it's probably better to stay with the optimal stuff and all this, because like Melee is like a school, right? Like you want to learn the game, so if you want to learn it, at least you have a way of learning it, I guess. Yeah. My style is kind of like anti all of that, like everyone wants to play that way, so I'll counter it with my own thing. Yeah. And it works. Obviously not every time, like it backlashes sometimes, but most of the time it's working. But for the newer players, I think definitely stick to that, because there is something, I don't know, a better way for sturdy, there's something solid for you to learn the game off of, Yeah. But in the end, I just think I put this because I kind of like thinking outside the box, even in real life. So I think that's just a me thing, I don't know if I would recommend people to play I do recommend to think outside the box, but basically the same thing I've said every time is when you watch videos, try not to emulate other people. Just keep it in mind, keep the things other people do in mind, but come up with your own stuff, be original.
But it's also not too harmful to steal a few tricks here and there. As a Falcon main, I especially like watching Lord, simply because he has a lot of setups and things that he does that new players can kind of see the reasoning behind what he does and emulate really easily. So obviously in the future, you say everybody's gonna kind of more, you obviously try to get people to play their own style, right? And to find their own expression in the game, and that's good. But, in the future, as everybody becomes more and more optimized, do you feel like you can kind of, I guess you really don't worry about that and you continue doing your own thing and concentrate on that. But do you feel like at some point in the future where everybody has reached a point where they can, 0 to death you off of one hit, like as Fox or somebody, that you're gonna have to learn this stuff and play completely differently? An example today is Mango, of course. For years he just basically did his own thing, but it's only this year that he's had to, kind of slow down and relearn some of the aspects of his game and tighten up, his fundamentals or his tech or whatever.
I mean, obviously, I've always said that, like, the time a Falcon shows up that has like kind of like mine or SUJ style combined with 20GX and can like switch styles on command, that's the time when Falcon will win a major. I'm working on it, I'm trying, but I'm not saying I'm gonna be able to do it, but I'll try.
So
But you have to take into effect that human factor is always in this. Like, we're not robots, so even if you're trying to be all optimal and stuff, someone's bound to make a mistake, and you just have to be ready for those mistakes, you know?
yeah. So you're saying that, you know, we're all human in the end. So the human element breeds and everything like mindset also plays a bigger role.
Definitely.
So do you feel like you're from Nicaragua and you grew up playing Melee there? Do you feel like your style is heavily influenced by how you learned in Nicaragua, or do you feel like coming to North America, coming and learning with different style of smashers have really changed how you play and view Melee?
I do have my style from basically back home. Everyone plays the way I play.
Okay.
Probably a bit less crazy because they would always tell me I was nuts, but it's very similar, you know?
Yeah.
When I came to, I was all offense. Like, I didn't even use shield. I said this in another interview, I forget where. But I did come and I learned defense game, like how to use shield, how to use baits, positioning, like all that stuff I learned here in North America. So it kind of, I got the best of both worlds, I guess, and it complemented me very well.
And do you feel like any players from back home, how do you think they would do in North American tournaments if they were to travel and, you know, compete in the local scenes?
I think they do well, but you have to remember that tournament experience is always a different thing, right? Like, that's something I'm still learning. I'm still learning smart counterpick scenarios, like you ban one stage and then you lose just to go to another, strategies, you know, with counterpicks. All of that is tournament experience. So if they got past that, I think they do really well, actually.
And one of the most interesting things that I've always, you know, found about you as a player is you'll sometimes say that you play better when you're hungover. And that's you know, I always just have to stop myself and kind of laugh to myself on the inside because I find that concept just really funny. You know, I can kind of picture you going in just, you know, what's going on, you know, half awake, and then you go in and you destroy everybody. And, you know, when Mango or, you know, other people play hungover, like you've seen what happened at HTC Photo, right? But why do you think that you play better when you're hungover as opposed to sober?
It's probably because when I'm hungover, I'm really paranoid. So when I don't go off. I stay a bit more safe because I'm naturally paranoid, and it kind of works out. I'm not saying every time I play better hungover, but usually, you know, it works out in the end.
And after you beat Drug Fox at Super Famicom, in your post-game interview, you said, you know, I just played safe. You know, I tried to rein in my aggression, and that paid off. So do you think that because you're hungover, you kind of strike that balance between aggression and defense more, you know, often?
Probably, yeah. The thing is, I'm trying to, it's not a good idea to be hungover all the time, you know? So I'm trying to, move that into my sober gameplay, I guess, so that I don't have to rely on that. But yeah, maybe.
So moving forward from Smash Summit 3 going into 2017, is there any specific goals that you have, anything that you're working on, or anything you just want to talk about moving forward?
I did say I wanted to take out at least another god before this year ends, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Who do you think?
I do want it will happen. I'm gonna be. I'm not a person that's full of myself, or I'm not. I mean, I am a positive person, but I'm more realistic, you know. But for this instance, I'm gonna say it will happen eventually. We'll see.
Maybe Mango.
But not sure who, but you know, I'm saying it will happen.
Well, I'll be rooting for you when that day comes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks. But other than that, I don't know. Just like I said, keeping the perfect, learning to have the perfect balance of offense and defense. That's like, because I'm a very aggressive player, right? And that's fine because it does work, but I do have to have good defense too. And sometimes my defense is like really off because I'm focusing too much on offense. So that's a problem. So yeah, basically just polishing my game.
Yeah. Solid. So is there anything else you want to say to your fans, to anyone watching this video? Just anything at all?
Shout out to all of you guys. I love you. The haters, I love you too. Keep me going. I gotta travel more in Canada because the irony is I know more about the States than actual Canada, and I live in Canada. So I definitely have to know my country a bit more. And yeah, I guess I'll be seeing you guys eventually if it happens.
Maybe don't park on the grass.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna go to UGC. I said I wasn't gonna go to Genesis, but it's looking too good to not go, so I might go. The thing is, I'm gonna be back home in Nicaragua. I'm running away from the winter, so tickets are like pricey, you know, to travel from there. So that's part of the reason.
We do have the wildest winter in Canada, so
yeah. So if you want to come to Vancouver,
sorry, what was that?
If you want to come to Vancouver in June, we're hosting Battle of BC2. It's going to be a big Canadian major.
Yeah, and I know I think you were planning on going to Battle BC1 earlier during the summer this year, but you said like the flight tickets were too expensive, which, you know, it is more expensive to travel from coast to coast Canada than it is to fly into the States, which is crazy, right?
Yeah, and then I ended up going to Florida or something like that. I remember I wanted to come, but then I went to this other tournament and I was like, oh, you know, but I do want to eventually come out to Vancouver. I might come out to that one. I was in talks with Kevin Deere. You guys know? Yeah. So it might happen. It's probable, you know. But yeah, I definitely want to come out there.
All right. So just as one last question, during your campaign for Smash Summit 3, you kind of had all of Canada band behind you, and during that vote race, like, how does that feel? Because now we have like a whole, you know, Canadian Smash community Facebook page. You know, there's this sense of community between like all of Canada, and that's kind of rallied behind you as a player. How does that feel, and where do you see that going?
I mean, it's definitely good, right? We got Canada together finally, because I was always wondering why the hell is there no universal Canada group? I always said that, but it did end up happening. Maybe for like next time, be it not me, be it someone else that's trying to go to Summit, we can like get easier way to have votes, right? Because I was crazy on Facebook. The traffic on my Facebook was crazy, so that's definitely good. Not only for that, but the regions can communicate better. You know, tournament publicity should be better for everyone in Canada because everyone's gonna get to see it. And yeah, I don't know, like. It was good. It was good. The Summit thing was a pain in the ass. The campaigning, you know, was hard. It was rough, but yeah. But in the end, you know, we got something good out of it, and it wasn't something for me, but it was something for everyone. So that's, in the end, it's really nice.
Well, I'm proud to say that I was a n0ne supporter during Summit.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I look forward to the time when, you know, our two coasts, East and West Canada, can be more united in this game. And, you know,
yeah, definitely. I got kind of effed at Summit. I had a hard bracket, but I mean, I still owe you guys, what do you call it? Match analysis. I said I was going to do a week of match analysis. I already did a lit stream. I did like other things I said I was going to do, but I still have that going. But I mean, that's why that's why we're playing, right? To keep learning. So
absolutely.
Maybe at Summit 8, I'll do better.
All right. Well, thank you very much for this interview. Do you have any closing comments you want to say to anyone before we let you go?
Shout-outs?
Same thing. Shout-outs to the fans, the haters. You guys keep me going. To everyone that's trying to get into the game, the only advice I give you, watch videos is important, but don't try to copy other players. Just keep what they do in mind and come up with your own things. You know, the game is very expressive. There's no one real way to play the game. You can play it however you want, and whatever you're more comfortable with, you can end up pulling it off. Just look at my videos, I guess, and you'll see.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Right. See you.
Bye. That was EMG's n0ne. We would like to thank n0ne for coming on our show today and answering some very detailed questions about Captain Falcon and Summit. Down below in the description box, we've included his, social media accounts.
Yeah, make sure if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Comment in the comment section below who you want to see us interview next. And as always, make sure you subscribe to Akshon Esports. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.